secrets behind the stealth submarine. In the English Channel, 180 feet beneath the surface, lies a submarine. 2 world wars have raged over these waters, many vessels sunk in action, but no submarine was ever known to have been lost until now. An expedition of divers, maritime historians, and underwater surveyors set out to investigate the mysterious wreck. Diver Dan Stevenson and submarine historian Innes McCartney joined the team.
The submarine is located in a part of the English Channel where, according to official histories, there aren't supposed to be any U-boat wrecks.
Diving in the English Channel is quite challenging. We have very strong tides. We have very poor visibility under the water. I mean, 2 to 3 meters is the average, really.
Special suits will enable them to reach the site. The strong tide could easily sweep them away, but the team takes a chance when the surge is less fierce.
You are full of apprehension just as you leap off the boat.
Innes is an expert on war wrecks and has identified over 40 submarines. He believes the mystery craft could be a World War II German U-boat.
There's a process you can go through when you first dive a submarine to try and work out its nationality and its age. And swimming down the port side, looking around the conning tower area, and very quickly going, oh yes, here's a late war Type 7 U-boat.
Type 7 is the most common German U-boat. The submarine's length and technical features confirm the divers' suspicions.
There's a sky periscope, and even in the end of it, there's still the mirror to refract the light so it can pan the skies for enemy aircraft. Brings it home to you when you think that the crew would have looked out through that.
But this Type 7 U-boat is different. An unusual coating lines its entire surface. It appears smooth, but in some places, the pliable sheets are peeling off. A closer look reveals a distinct pattern of dimples, identifying the material as rubber. It confirms its identity.
What surprised me was the rubber coating, which I wasn't expecting to see. And that clearly identified it as U-480, because U-480 was the only so-coated U-boat to enter the English Channel and not come out.
In the summer of 1944, Allied armies arrive in France. Vast amounts of supplies are transported from England, creating heavy traffic within these shipping lanes. Then, in just 5 days, 4 ships explode and sink without warning. The submarine identified by Innes lies off this shipping passageway. Most Type 7 subs are painted, but U-480 is coated in rubber, possibly allowing it to remain unseen. Could U-480 be responsible for these sinkings? In October 1943, Captain Hans Joachim Förster sets out aboard U-480. The sub is equipped with several revolutionary upgrades. At age 23, Förster already has a reputation in the German Navy as an exceptional and aggressive commander. The U-480 is a lethal weapon in his hands. Helmsman and close friend Horst Rösner remembers Förster well.
He was quick-witted, good to the crew, had a great sense of humor, but he paid attention to discipline. He didn't let you get away with anything. He was a great chap, a great chap.
Förster hones his 47 men into a well-coordinated team through extensive training. Then, in August 1944, they set out on a mission to attack ships in the English Channel. Almost 200 feet overhead, Allied convoys travel across the channel, resupplying the invasion army and producing a disharmony of underwater sounds. Submariners listen for lone targets, which are easier to identify and less protected. But the Allied ships are also on the lookout. They scan the horizon for U-boats and make full use of their sensitive sonar.
Schnell drehende Schraube. 20 Grad. Backbord vorne. 1000 Meter. 90 Grad.
On August 21st, Förster hears a single vessel, the Canadian warship Alberich. He checks his position and scans the sky for planes. When all's clear, he knows it's safe to remain near the surface. He positions himself behind the main periscope to begin his assault. Senior helmsman Horst Rösner follows his lead. Rösner's able to steer the ship from the secondary controls. Förster spots his quarry and launches the final stages of the attack.
LE, Boot auf Seemotive halten.
Whispered commands lessen the danger of the sensitive hydrophones on the ships above them.
Genau Tiefe halten.
LI, genau auf Tiefe halten das Boot.
The crew adjusts their positions to balance the submarine, aiming both boat and torpedoes toward their target. They prepare to fire. No one aboard the Alberich suspects a thing.
Frage Laufzeit.
Frage Laufzeit.
5 Sekunden.
5 Sekunden.
Erster Torpedo, Treffer, Achtern.
The Canadian ship Alberich rapidly sinks. Survivors recall the last moments aboard the doomed ship.
It was just about lunchtime, and then it called the cooks to the galley, and they were serving the rum with the officer of the watch and the coxswain right beside me. Actually, I was sitting at the end of the table. I got my grog and I sat down and I had one little swig of it, and then the explosion happened.
Yeah, next thing you know, we're underwater. That happened that fast.
And the very strange part of it, I didn't see anybody. There wasn't anybody coming out of the portholes or the mess deck.
U-480's fatal attack was completely undetected. The question is, how? An expedition team closes in on the wreckage of a German wartime U-boat. They hope their dive unlocks the story behind the sinking of the Canadian ship Alberich in 1944. She vanishes in just 30 seconds.
The ship just went right down, just like a shot. Very fast, so goodbye life jacket.
The bow was up in the air and the stern was underneath the water. And when I came up out of the water, that's the position it was in, and it slid under the water.
There was nothing there when I came up, nothing. She just went down, down.
"59 of the 90 men on board die.
Never saw anything. Nobody did nothing on radar, nothing on ASDIC.
There's no indication at all there was a U-boat in the area.
The mystery of the sinking isn't solved until after the war. Forster records his actions in meticulous detail. And Lieutenant Commander Bell of the Alberich does the same. After the sinking, Bell gives his account of what happened.
I have the honor to report that on the 21st of August 1944, at 11:46, an underwater explosion occurred in the proximity of the engine room, which caused the Alberich to sink.
Forster records the following on the same day.
11:43. After 1 minute and 19 seconds, the torpedo hit and detonated. By day, hardly a minute goes by without the din of depth charges exploding somewhere in the distance. One can only do any decent listening at night.
Und einmal, da war die Wasserbombe.
Only one depth charge went off nearby.
In der Nähe.
And that was it. We went slow ahead and bit by bit, we made our escape.
Langsam abgesetzt.
U-480 escapes completely undetected and without a scratch. To Forster, lone ships are easy prey. Within 5 days, he sinks the HMCS Alberich, HMS Loyalty, the Orminster, and Fort Yale. 14,000 tons of shipping in under a week.
It's obvious we were elated. Just as the Allies cheered when one of us was wiped out. Both sides were the same.
Beide Seiten gleich.
2 weeks later, Forster breaks radio silence to inform his superiors of his attacks. he uses the highly sophisticated Enigma encoding machine. The encoder uses a plugboard and rotor system to encrypt letters in millions of combinations. He sets up the rotors and plugs differently each day. At German U-boat headquarters, another Enigma machine decodes the message. The German Navy prides itself on its security. They believe it's mathematically impossible for the Allies to break the code. Förster passes the coded message to his signaler for Morse transmission. The commander reports that the new weapons have done their job, and that another secret feature is also working.
Zum größten Teil schreibe ich das.
The main reason that our boat remains undetected is down to the protection provided by Alberich.
But British intelligence cracks the code and intercepts Förster's message. Allied cryptographers detect an unfamiliar code name, Alberich. Alberich may be the secret feature allowing U-480 to operate in an area swarming with Allied warships.
He was sent directly to the most dangerous spot at that time, the central area of the channel, just in front of the landing ground for the Allies. So this area was only for the most clever, most experienced commanding officers at that time. And he was able not only to stay in this area, he was able to achieve a really impressive series of attacks and successes.
Förster's series of attacks lie along a single convoy route to France. So how did U-480 attack her victims so effectively? The dive team heads south in their quest for clues. Today, conditions in the channel seem almost as busy as in 1944. It's not the easiest place to plan a dive.
At the moment, we're steaming towards the middle area of the English Channel. There are 4 victims of the U-480 that we want to have a look at, scan and see what sort of state they're in. Unfortunately for us, these 4 wrecks lie very much in the shipping lane. There's a north lane where everything runs west and a south lane where everything runs east. And the Loyalty and Orminster are very much in the southern shipping lane. You can see from these green identifiers, these are all ships that are lining up to enter the Dover separation zone. As a diver, that caused me quite a lot of concern. These are big ships moving at 20 to 30 knots. They appear over the horizon and disappear very quickly.
Expedition historian Innes McCartney was one of the first to explore the wreckage of the Canadian corvette Alberich a decade ago. Now, the divers will examine the physical evidence of U-480's attack to find out why the Alberich sank so quickly. But diving to the Alberich is dangerous. Dan Stevenson is uneasy about descending to over 230 feet in this exposed mid-channel location.
It's quite an eerie feeling dropping down from light into the dark void, following your buddy as you go down. It's quite reassuring when he turns on his torch. When you see the wreck, it's a real relief. It's so easy to miss these things and land up on the seabed and it's all for nothing. Here are the depth charges just lying there, inert now, but once were lethal. You can still see artifacts of the crew, like their life jackets and things like that, just lying there amongst the wreckage. It really brings it home to you. Shoals of fish now inhabit this wreck. She's such a pretty thing. Even the gun is just beautiful, sticking out where it should in the exact position as when she sank. As we swim aft, we notice there's more and more destruction of the wreck. There's a definite patch in the hull that's just completely missing.
The scale of the damage explains why the Alberich sank so rapidly. Forster's intercepted reports disclosed that one of U-480's secret upgrades was a smart weapon. The submarine is equipped with a torpedo designed to hone in on ships moving at high speed. As Dan Stevenson nears the stern, a vital piece of evidence is found. Significant torpedo damage to the propeller.
As we swam over the prop and followed the prop shaft along, you could see that it was clearly cleaved in two. This is obviously where the torpedo struck. It looks like it hit just as the prop shaft went into the hull, where the bearings would have been, where the most noise would have been generated.
U-480's torpedoes delivered killer blows to its victims. But how did she get so close under the radar? In the summer of 1944, German submarine U-480 sinks 4 Allied ships in the English Channel. Her stealth allowed her to remain under the radar. But how? Divers search U-480's wreckage for clues. Hidden under more than a half a century of deposits is U-480's rubber coating. Still attached to the submarine's hull, a complex pattern of dimples are revealed. Could the rubber coating be the secret of success? Records indicate that Forster believes he and his crew are invisible. Allied ships set out in search of U-480.
Verfolgung dauert bis 22 Uhr.
The pursuit lasted 7 hours. We stayed just 5 meters off the seabed, nose down. Frequently, we could hear a ship hunting us. When it stopped directly overhead, we could make out every little sound. The pings from the sonar were deafening.
Da diese jedoch nur zu geringen Ausfällen reichten, bin
I'm convinced that the enemy couldn't detect us using ASDIC.
You won't believe it. One day a destroyer passed right over us and didn't notice that we were underneath. Every depth charge is logged, and we counted 92 explosions.
Only one strikes near them.
That one depth charge did come close was probably a fluke. Anyway, it didn't do much damage.
But to escape 92 depth charges seems more than coincidence. Something else is protecting the U-480. In 1944, the British Admiralty doesn't know what the rubber coating is used for. They theorize it helps protect the U-boats against depth charge attacks, but tests quickly determine the rubber is too thin to defeat high explosives. It might help the sub move faster through the water, but that's about it. Another theory is the codename Alberich. Alberich is the name of a character in Wagner's opera who possesses the ability to become invisible. The name bears a resemblance to U-480's ASDIC instrument, which makes the submarine invisible to sonar. ASDIC is the British code name for sonar detection. A pulse, or ping, is sent out from a loudspeaker under the ship to reflect off targets along the seabed. But the Germans come up with a way to stop the echo returning from the metal hull. It's rubber coating. Analysis reveals the innovative nature of the synthetic material. Its two sheets comprise a smooth outer and a perforated inner layer. Holes absorb the very frequencies produced by ASDIC.
It's a thick rubber matting with bubbles, air bubbles in it. And those bubbles, if they were the right size, would act as acoustic absorbers for a particular incident frequency from an ASDIC. So as the ASDIC hit the rubber, it was absorbed so that the ASDIC then didn't hit the metal part of the U-boat, and in particular the internal structure of the U-boat, which is what gives the ASDIC returning echo.
It's hard to cover a large steel hull and rubber sheeting, but the Germans find a way.
Applying the Alberich coating onto the ship's hull is a very sophisticated and detailed process. So in the first, you have to clean the complete pressure hull and the complete outer ship. This is done by blasting the ship's hull with small iron balls. After this, there is a second step when you put a coverage paint on the hull. And in a third step, you apply the coating onto the hull by gluing it with using a special glue named chloroplane. And this is very difficult because it had to be fixed very solely, otherwise it would come off easily. And any failure done during the gluing process would eventually lead to the complete failure of the system, and the whole gluing should be renewed as well.
U-480 helmsman Horst Rösner knows firsthand how easy it is to damage the coating.
Da ist Folgendes gewesen, als wir auf Grund lagen, im Kanal, da ist eine gewisse Grundströmung. Und da
The tidal currents in the channel would drag us slowly along the bottom. When that happened, it made a grating noise. We must have been scraping over rocks. We all worried that Allied warships would hear the sound. The skipper explained what was happening, and when we got to the base in Trondheim, we could see that on the bottom of the boat, big patches of rubber had ripped off.
unten am Kiel große Flecke aufgerissen waren.
The consequences of losing the coating could be deadly. Allied warships might be able to detect the flapping sheets of rubber from miles away, rendering the cloak of invisibility useless. But Förster's luck holds, and U-480 makes the journey to Norway in one piece. On October 4th, 1944, Förster and his crew arrived safely at the U-boat base in Trondheim. On October 19th, the British intercepts another transmission, honoring Förster and his achievements. Earlier in the war, U-boat captains were awarded the Knight's Cross for sinking over 100,000 tons of shipping. But by 1944, many commanders received the same prestigious medal for sinking a fraction of that tonnage. Förster is no exception. Horst Rösner remembers the crew's sense of elation and relief as they returned to port.
Der schönste Augenblick war ja, als wir von der Feindfahrt
And the best moment of all was when we came back from our mission. Pennants were flying and merchant ships dipped their flags to greet us. In the U-boat bunker, there was a band waiting and a newsreel crew.
Begrüßung. Und wir antworten und dann kam Wink, dann liefen wir ein in den Land.
One of the press said, "Can I take your picture?" And I said, "Okay, but only if I get a copy." And I've still got it, with one of the finest beards you've ever seen.
War herrlich. Das war der schönste.
That really was the best moment of my time in U-boats. Coming home.
U-480's crew would soon set out on another mission, but Horst doesn't join them this time.
Das ist eine wirkliche Geschichte.
He volunteers for the next voyage.
Zwei Frauen.
But when he returns from leave, he learns that a woman has been on board.
Und dann sagt der Alte,
And for submariners, that's perceived as bad luck.
kommt auf Schule. Ich sag, was? Ja, eine rote Kreuzschwester?
U-boat sailors are superstitious people. Oh, what shall I do? I go to see the skipper who's busy shaving. He says,
Drehte sie am Spiel um.
"So, my old mate, are you getting off this boat or what?"
Willst du doch aussteigen?
And I said, "Yes." And that was my salvation.
Das war meine Rettung.
U-480 has proved her worth. Her stealth technology made her invisible. So how did the Allies hunt her down and kill her? In August 1944, German U-boat commander Hans Joachim Förster destroys 4 Allied ships in the English Channel. Once rearmed and refueled, U-480 returns to the fray. In January 1945, Förster and his crew depart Norway for the west coast of Ireland. On the 19th, British intelligence intercepts a transmission and learns of Förster's orders to return to the English Channel.
Large American troop transports coming from USA, apparently expected in Cherbourg, go to your old operational area.
U-480 returns to her old haunts, taking her past the Isle of Scilly. Allied warships destroy another German U-boat in that area around the same time. Floating remains convince the Allies they've sunk the notorious U-480.
But the items that came to the surface at this attack was a piece of white crepe rubber. And I think this led the assessment committee at the Admiralty to believe that the U-boat so destroyed was U-480 because they knew that U-480 was coated in rubber.
For 50 years, the wreckage was thought to be lying here. But in fact, U-480 moves undetected to her old hunting ground. The rubber cloak of invisibility is still effective. Normally, U-boats keep radio silence during combat because it's too dangerous to transmit at the surface. But they take a chance, and their messages are intercepted by the British. A machine known as the bomb can exploit weaknesses in the German Enigma encoder, and is able to decipher Förster's messages in less than 24 hours. The intercepts contain details of each U-boat's progress, her state of readiness, ammunition, supplies, and mission reports. Over 50 intercepts of U-480's reports are still preserved today. The intercepts are far and few. To transmit a signal, U-480 had to break the surface, where she became vulnerable to Allied ships and aircraft. But for most of her mission, she maintains radio silence. So what led to her demise? Navigating through the restricted view of the periscope is difficult, but Commander Förster has a plan.
If the U-boat could get himself in a position off, say, a navigational buoy that he would have at least assumed was on the main convoy routes, and he then bottoms near there so he won't be dragged away from it, then when he waits for a short period of time, in principle at least, a convoy should come clomping along. He'll hear it, rise to firing position, fire, and then go back to the bottom again.
But Förster returns to the scene of his previous triumphs.
But what would be more natural for a young submarine captain who's been successful on one patrol to want to go back and do the same in an area that he knew? So of course he goes back to the old convoy lane that he'd plied so well a few months before, but things have changed.
For 60 years, details of these changes have been kept a secret. Today, these declassified documents disclose the truth. At the Royal Naval Historical Branch, Innes McCartney and naval historian Malcolm Llewellyn-Jones uncover a critical lead. Near U-480's wreckage lies the evidence of a trap. A covert minefield aimed at submarines was laid in this area in January 1945.
It allows us then to target mine laying.
And is it a successful strategy?
Yes.
The mines themselves were deep enough for Allied ships to travel safely over the top. Some explode on contact. Others detonate if a submarine passes near them.
What the Allies did was reroute the convoys to another way into Portsmouth and lay a minefield under the old convoy route, leaving the marker buoys in place.
Förster has little choice but to follow the marker buoys. Aware of the dangers posed by an air or sea attack, the crew has faith in their rubber cloak of invisibility. Little do they know, a secret minefield is waiting for them. An expedition team is determined to find out what happened to World War II German submarine U-480.
Starting back here, you can see the stern broken off.
Detailed scans revealed that the submarine was struck at her stern. As the divers search the wreckage, they discover evidence of the fatal impact that killed Förster and his crew.
Frightening looking shattering of the pressure hull right on the aft starboard side. It looks just like someone stuck a pencil into a Coke can. And it's just completely pushed the pressure, shattered it, and allowed tons of water per second to pour into the submarine, and it's done for it in a few seconds. It is a horrific picture of the last seconds of a submarine in war.
500 pounds of explosives blows through the reinforced steel of the pressure hull. There's no chance of escape.
Type 7 U-boats from the Second War.
At the German Naval Memorial, Innes meets with Horst Rösner to share his findings.
And we went down and we dived it, and we found a submarine.
For the first time, Innes is able to convey what happened to Rösner's fallen comrades 60 years ago. Near Kiel, Germany, a memorial honors the 30,000 men who lost their lives serving in U-boats during World War II. Horst Rösner's comrades are among them. But for a sailor superstition, his name would be here too.
Man sieht sie vor sich. Wenn ich die Namen höre, dann ist es, als wenn neben mir steht.
When I hear their names, I can see them in front of me. It's as if they are standing right next to me. We shared happiness and suffering. We had good times and bad times. While I'm alive, you'll never be forgotten. You did your duty.
Ihr habt eure Pflicht getan.
The events of 1944 still leave their mark today.
You do have dreams sometimes that are very real to you, but they don't always last. I had a little spell of it, but I'm okay now, I think. You know, it wouldn't be very good if you had to keep thinking about it. It's happening, and it's happened to a lot of people that were in the war.
"60 years after U-480 fell to the bottom of the English Channel, divers and historians have uncovered the German weapon that sank 4 Allied ships in 1944. The submarine's demise came when it entered a deadly trap deep beneath the waves. U-480's story is one of wartime trickery and bravery. The Germans brought 6 more stealth submarines into service, and not a single one was ever detected by sonar.